For an occasion like this, I think it's only best to bring some friends along.
First you draw a circle, then you dot the...
Good God, that used to be me. Well, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it? That's right. 5 years ago, I threw myself headlong into the chaotic world of countdown making. I was working my first career job at the time and figured I needed something to do with my free time besides playing video games. Little did I suspect that it would become the beginning of something this big. 5 years and over 450 videos later, I feel it's time to celebrate. And what better way than to come back to where it all started? To wit, I did a remake to cover that there Kirby! Not unlike myself, the super tough Pink Puffs had quite a ride. Over nearly 25 years, this little ball of adorbs has gone from a mini adventure on the Game Boy to one of Nintendo's flagship mascots. All stacked on the solid foundation of awesome level design, great presentation, and of course, Kirby's bottomless stomach. Over the years, Nintendo's miniature Blue Mage has assembled quite the arsenal, and I'm going to celebrate 5 years in the biz by diving back into the armory. Now, I'm not including super abilities, endgame abilities, limited use abilities, combo abilities, and I'm not including any abilities from my original list. Okay, I've dragged this opening speech long enough. Grab a slice of your favorite cake and get ready for the party! It's game time! Return to Dreamland was a return to form for the series. It was quite a step up in terms of presentation, level design, and basically everything else. Of course, the new abilities were a blast as well, so it's only natural that I start off this list with one of them. And I'm picking the grass type for a starter here. Believability allows Kirby to channel his inner Sceptile and unleash nature's wrath upon his unsuspecting foes. This highly versatile moveset can cut through swarms of enemies in no time, with the kind of grace that can only come from the Floral Kingdom. We've got a smorgasbord of grass-type moves here. Only thing missing is the freaking Solar Beam. On top of that, it looks like we got some guerrilla tactics on display here with top-tier camouflage. It's not as busted as, say, Spasma, but it's still pretty damn effective, and once you've mastered it, nobody is going to want to set foot into your little shop of whoop-ass, especially with how effective it can be against bosses. Welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Why did it take you so long? Yeah, Mirror may be one of those niche abilities, but I had a ton of fun with this ability back in Superstar. Not only did it have an adorable clown cap, but it had the gimmick of, you guessed it, turning projectiles back on their users. But its utility went quite a ways beyond that, from creating a shower of reflective glass to splitting up into mirror images. It was quite the interesting concept, to be sure. We've had mirrors in video games before, from puzzles to power-ups, but I felt that Superstar gave it an interesting twist. I especially enjoyed using it against the computer virus. But alas, this was a power that was too good to last. According to superstition, breaking a mirror gives you 7 years bad luck. But after Hal broke it, we had to wait 3 times that long until Planet Robobot before we got a new one. Hell, even Amazing Mirror was lacking this obvious choice of an ability. I know I'm treading ground that's been covered before, but the game revolves around the reflective panels, so why deny the Pink Wonder? Something to reflect on. Playing Planet Robobot was a blast. Seems to be the standard for Mr. Pink lately. Not only did it bring back a few favorites, but in keeping with the theme of man-made progress, the abilities introduced were anything but natural and downright sick. Good thing Dr. Kirby makes house calls. So, what symptoms do you have? Fever? Chills? I've got just the prescription for that. If all it took to have that MD next to my name was sucking down on a pill monster, medical schools across the country would sue. Slip on that lab coat and prepare to break into Big Pharma, because the doctor ability has your cure for boredom. And plenty of pills to go with it. Let's see if your insurance covers that, buddy. You'd think he was learning from the plumber with many talents. Okay, tell me where it hurts. What's that? Everywhere? Let's put a bandage on that, shall we? The patient seems to be exhibiting strange symptoms. Let's make a note of that after smacking him with a clipboard. Oh, and if he needs to concoct some more medicine, he has his own portable chemistry lab. Research and development at a fraction of the cost. Science has come a long way, don't you think? And it's so much more fun here. Let's make an appointment. Same time next week? Now, I could be wrong, but wind feels like the most underestimated of the 4 classical elements. We see a crap ton of fire, water, and earth spells in RPGs, but wind, not so much. More often than not, we dismiss the destructive potential of this force of nature. That is, until the turbulent wind comes barreling towards you in a terrifying funnel cloud. Tornado is one of those abilities that's just mindless, simple fun on a bun. Kirby starts spinning and everything in his path gets torn apart. In Return to Dreamland, its moveset expanded, allowing Kirby to launch his tornadoes above him and below him. But if you want to see Tornado at its best, then dust off that DS and pop in Squeak Squad. When powered up by that copy scroll, the already insane ability can channel the other elements just by skating across them. Tornado plus lava equals a fire tornado? A fire tornado that makes the whole dry heat argument completely pointless. Tornado plus ice equals an ice storm that rivals anything that our climate change-induced winters could possibly come up with. Finally, mix electric terrain with the funnel to create an electric vortex which may just be the most painful of them all. This thing is great for speedruns when you can control it, can absolutely wreck its fair share of bosses, especially most of the bosses in Squeak Squad, and it's just a blast. It's just fun to channel your inner Rashid. Oh, so that's where he got it from. When Nintendo makes references, they don't mess around. With the introduction of hats to represent the copy abilities, they had the perfect one for Sword already. And in Planet Robobot, they went up to a certain reference that was made before in Superstar. I'm sure the fans didn't mind. Word to your mother! I can't believe I just said that. You thought that Yo-Yo was the definitive Earthbound reference? Pfft, PK, screw that! Munch on your favorite brain food, give that cap a good 180, and let your gray matter, well, matter. ESP is one of those unnatural abilities that taps into the unknown. While we don't know the actual extent of Kirby's mental capacity, this psycho power is simply delicious! Focus your thoughts and let the energy flow. Enemies don't stand a chance against the power of Kirby's mysterious mind. Psychokinesis that can be freely controlled and even charged proves to be a powerful means of taking down your foes. On top of that, you've got the added bonus of teleportation, which can also damage foes in the process. And what's that here? Looks like our boy from Onett isn't the only guy that got eaten. What, is Kirby packing a Monado inside that bottomless stomach of his? He's having freaking visions! Oh, and in case that's not enough PK love for you, it has a mode for the Robobot armor. Bison had better start running. God damn it, that's 2 Street Fighter references already. When mankind's time on Earth is done, it's said that the insect kingdom will rise to power. Cockroaches are able to withstand nuclear radiation. Ants and beetles can lift many, many times their own body weight. So it's no surprise that the future overlords of the planet have gotten quite the representation in fictional media. Well, Triple Deluxe kinda gave them a head start if the Beetle ability is any indication. Drawing inspiration from the rhinoceros beetle, one of the most powerful creatures by scale, the Beetle ability puts a samurai helmet on Kirby's head, complete with a fully functional horn. And with that horn comes one of the most offensively versatile abilities in the series. While Smash was about as subtle as an Ultra Sword to the face and mixing up Kirby's iconic abilities, Beetle did something similar, but with enough nuances to give it its own unique identity. The flight power of Cupid, the melee power of Sword, the grappling abilities of Suplex and Throw, and even skills borrowed from Ninja, with a few of its own abilities to boot. It's honestly amazing what you can do with this ability. From tearing apart and skewering enemies to solving all manner of puzzles, this ability is quite the package. Bug Spray ain't gonna help the bad guys here. Nobody, I mean nobody, checks out of Kirby's Roach Motel. I for one welcome our new insect overlords. And it turns out I'm not quite done with the Street Fighter references. As a matter of fact, I've saved the most blatant one for this point. Why is that, you ask? The answer lies in the heart of battle. Well, either Kirby's been hitting up the dojo behind our backs, or he's been chowing down his fair share of Doritos and Mountain Dew. Fighter Kirby looks at your tier lists and laughs. Long before Ryu even filled out his application for the Smash roster, Kirby was already busting out the moves and racking up KOs like nobody else. Slipping on that headband gives him the most diverse moveset of any ability in the series. The Fireball, the Dragon Punch, the Hurricane Kick, the Somersault, the whole ball of wax. The devs really thought of everything here. Matter of fact, some of these moves even made it into Kirby's main Smash moveset. If that's not influence, I don't know what is. With such a smorgasbord of moves at Kirby's disposal, it can be hard to keep track of them all. That makes Fighter one of the hardest abilities to master, keeping track of directional inputs, speed inputs, even light and heavy button presses. It's a lot to take in, but once you master it, you can plow through enemies and even bring bosses to the mat. That's why it's been a fan favorite ever since Superstar. Better start training for Evo, little guy. So one time, during a conversation I was having with some friends, we got to talking about Waddle Dee, and we realized this guy's the broest of bros, because he always follows the bro code. Trapped in a room with rising quicksand, he busts open the ceiling. Bro code. Need to get down the river in a hurry? He has a makeshift boat all ready for you. Bro code. Dining at the Kirby Cafe by yourself? He'll sit with you so you don't have to feel lonely. Bro code. Need to find parts to a spaceship? He comes along packing a spear. Freaking bro code. Whether it's Kirby or Waddle Dee packing that spear, by the time your enemies know what hit them, you'll be able to see the view behind them. The spear ability is not only fun, but very powerful and versatile. Need to reach an enemy on the other side of a wall? That's okay, just go ahead and skewer it. Want to get a preemptive strike on your enemy? Go ahead and toss that spear. You'll get another one right away, don't ask how. Need to rack up damage in a hurry? Mash that attack button and stabby stab stab. It's got range. It's got power. It's got... a helicopter? Sure, screw the laws of aerodynamics. I've got video game logic on my side. Who gives a shit? And hey, when you need to go underwater, how's about a little spearfishing? Yeah, you've got one of the complete packages here. Power, versatility, and just plain fun. Never forget your bro. It seems most Kirby games with abilities have that one. That ability that just feels so overpowered that once you get your hands on it, you don't want to let go of it at any cost. In the case of Triple Deluxe, Archer was my ace in the hole. You may not get a stand from this bow and arrow, but the power that this ability puts in your hands is enough to make enemies cry like a Bears fan during the playoffs. With the bottomless supply of arrows in his quiver, and the power to infuse them with energy, Kirby's bow has made short work of swarms of enemies and even bosses, long before Ryu Gawaga Teki Go Fuck Yourself was even a glimmer in Hanzo's eye. I've taken down bosses in seconds. Seconds with these arrows. The arrows can also prove handy at close range, and they're also used in gyroscope puzzles that don't make me want to hurl. That's powerful enough already, but what makes this ability ridiculous is that it comes complete with an absolute defense. Hold down on the D-pad and nothing can touch you. Nothing! The insane power combined with a near-perfect defense made this ability my absolute go-to in the true arena. If you need any further proof that this ability is powerful, they had to change the name from Sniper for the English version. It turns the normal left-to-right routine into a hunting game. So go ahead and put on that William Tell cap. The only apples Kirby is aiming for is the bad guy's Adam's apples. What? Triple Deluxe was great. The level design was well executed, most of the bosses were fun to fight, and DDD Tour was a blast. But there was one thing that the game did that really shocked and dismayed me. They got rid of the water ability. Why? Why take away an ability that's this much fun, especially one that had been so long overdue? From the very start, we've had the earth, the fire, and the wind, but it took until Return to Dreamland for Hal to finally complete the quadrinity of classical elements. At long last, Kirby was the Avatar! And it doesn't hurt that the water ability is just so much fun to use. When the Pink Wonder slips on that fountain crown, magical things happen, let me tell ya. Starting with the not Squirtle water gun, and including such attacks as a fountain burst, and a water burst to anything around him. Look at that, our boy be making it rain! And then you have the fun with the mobility that water offers. You don't dash with this ability, you surf. And you can even attack with the surfing and get across water in a hurry. Oh, and then there's that hovering ability, but the only reason I used it was for clearing obstacles that were too hot to handle. And here's a little cherry on top. As long as you have the water ability, your underwater squirt gun gets a buff. The reason I love this ability so much is because of how much fun it was to use and how useful it was. It was one of those abilities I dropped everything for the second I had the chance. When I realized it wasn't returning in Triple Deluxe, I was sorely let down. Granted, it didn't dampen my enjoyment of the game, but when there's water levels in pretty much every game in the series, to get rid of an ability that takes full advantage of the element just makes no sense. Well, Planet Robobot did give it something of an update in the form of poison, so I guess that counts for something. I'm the Quarter Guy, and I could get really sappy right about now, but that would just sound cringeworthy coming from me. So instead, I'd just like to say, thank you all for 5 awesome years on YouTube. And don't think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. I've got plenty more up my sleeves. And rest assured, I'll try to make sure that it doesn't suck. Happy Thanksgiving month, everybody! Gather the family around the table and get ready to feast on some awesomeness. Pass the turkey, and the stuffing, and the mashed potatoes, and the biscuits, and the creamed corn, and the green bean casserole, and the yams, and the cranberry sauce, and the pumpkin pie. Next time, top 10 things I like in video games. It's game time! Thanks for watching my 5th anniversary special. If you want to see more from me, check my other playlists and be sure to subscribe and click that little bell so you can be sure you're getting the goods. I'm also on social media, and I livestream on Twitch where Extra Life season is currently in full swing. If you want to support my channel even further, there's also a link to my Patreon, where you can donate and score some goods as well. Shoutouts to my proofreaders, by the way. Thanks again, and until next time, this is the Quarter Guy, signing out!